Hello Ratbags, it's Jade. Welcome to a special preview today on the Axis Show, taking a look at Witchfire. This is an absolute crazy shooter game coming, maybe not very soon, probably won't be hitting till 2020. But I'm going to give you all the information I can, who's making it and what to expect when the game hopefully comes to PC and possibly console in the future. If you want to keep up to date with everything to do with early access, brand new game news and just everything that's going on with my channel, make sure you've got notifications turned on and let's crack on with everything I know about Witchfire. Back last year, Witchfire was announced by the Astronauts development team. These are the guys that were responsible for some of the games you've played previously that are very different from what this trailer shows. They made The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. They also helped make, or some of the directors were responsible for games like Bulletstorm and Painkiller. This is a real eclectic mix of game developers, very small tiny studio, but they are working actively on this brand new game called Witchfire. It is a shooter. It's going to be frenetic, it's going to be fast paced, very much influenced by Doom, but set in a 19th century setting with all sorts of supernatural and maybe Bloodborne influences. It's moody, it's dark, but it's not slow, not in the slightest. As this trailer points out, these devs know how to do gameplay involving guns and moving around quickly and the combat that comes from that. It looks absolutely amazing. Now, I saw this trailer last year and I thought it was absolutely incredible. The developers have been very deliberate and slow. They're not hyping stuff up just for the fun. They are going to take their time with this, but they are scheduling 2020 as a release. The very small little clip at the beginning was something they've literally just put on their YouTube channel yesterday, just showing off a brand tiny little snippet. They were meant to be giving a more detailed look at gameplay, but they've decided no, they want to make sure that everything is looking as good as it can be and it runs well. So absolutely not jumping the gun and overhyping something, but I am getting a little bit hyped by this one. So we've got plenty of footage of just behind the scenes stuff showing how they're working on the ballistics and how basically everything works. If you're interested in game development, go and check out their vlog. It's really good. Every week they do updates and it's taught me so much about making games. They do tiny little showcases highlighting everything they're doing and what they're working on, as well as showcasing little pictures and concept art as well of the game that's coming. This company is really wanting to make sure they've got a product they're really happy with and it's hopefully going to be successful. Go and check it out. Like I said, there's plenty of information here from how they work on basically firing the gun, how they can get the secrets of combative vertical slice, which is basically highlighting and getting that loop mechanic in there so you feel satisfied. Doom does that really well, where you're shooting something, you've got that quick loop that responds to your brain and says, you know what, keep playing me. And they just go on in depth talking about all sorts of aspects of game development while obviously showing off what they're up to. So I really like these developers. I really like the way they're doing their sort of teasing and leading stuff. They're actually showing people stuff and we get a chance to see how they make their game. So far they're undecided even about whether it's going to be a single player game, whether it's going to have some sort of co-op option, and they really are in the beginning stages still with so much content, even though it looks so good so already. They said that story is going to be a focus, but maybe not in a traditional sense. You're not going to see bunches of cutscenes all the time. In fact, there will be no cutscenes. The story will be found by finding notes. It will be in the atmosphere. It will be in your actions. It will be in the way that enemies respond, as well as all sorts of stuff like environmental sounds. It's going to help build the story rather than you necessarily just sitting there for 2 minutes watching a cutscene. And that's hugely surprising considering one of their earlier games was The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Now that game done really well. It's a really great story-led sort of puzzle whodunit game, almost like a point-and-click adventure game. It did really well, sold a bunch of copies on Steam as well as the PlayStation 4, and I do believe it's on Xbox as well. Funnily enough, I only just completed this last month, playing it with my girlfriend, and it's just a really good environmental story-led game. So very interesting to see where they're taking their next project. To go from that to this seems so strange, but with their history, basically their game directors currently right now were also the game directors in charge of games like Bulletstorm and Painkiller. Two really outstanding shooters. Bulletstorm is so underrated. It was such a good game when it came out, but it just kind of got waylaid by everything that was going on at the time. It was a weird situation for them. This was their game, this was their baby, but they'd been working on Gears of War Judgment Day or Judgment, whatever it was called. It was not a very good Gears of War game back on the day, and so I think they kind of ended up splitting up, and that's when they went on to make their own game studio proper again, rather than be working for a bigger studio or bigger publisher. Anyway, that's the past. What about now? What's going on exactly with Witchfire? They plan to add a bunch of other features to the game. Obviously, there's lots of guns, there's lots of gonna be maybe special ups and items that can help you. You've got some sort of supernatural powers as well to use to stun enemies. The full synopsis right now, I think, is that you are a witch hunter. Witches are indeed real and they are dangerous, and obviously you are the good guy rather than necessarily what really happened, and lots of people were persecuted for being witches, which of course was much nonsense. So these witches are summoning these demons, and there's all sorts of these supernatural entities running around the world. It's not exactly steampunk, there is a different definition for it. It's very much more baroque, but a sort of case of what happens if you were to get much more faster paced guns and combat options implemented into a 19th century world. And obviously the bosses are going to be pretty substantial. They're maybe not going to be absolutely out of this world huge, but they are going to be significantly large, and you're going to have to think about how you take them on, not just simply wailing at them from a distance. You are going to have to use your combos of your powers or work out strategies using different guns to get the best out of this game. They really want it to be something that you have to learn and adapt to, so I'm guessing the ceiling for playing it is going to be quite high in terms of player skill, but as long as you as long as you mess around with strategies and don't just sit there from miles away, you probably get a lot of enjoyment from working out the best way to play this game and sort of master it, very much like the Dark Souls series. Found it really interesting that after the vanishing of Ethan Carter, they pretty much took a year working on a survival game. They looked at games like Ark and Rust and thought, you know what, they're doing really well, what can we bring to the table? And they said they were working on something sort of post-pop, if that's the right word, basically a 1920s or 1930s sort of atmosphere, but add loads of mechs and stuff to it, and that's where they were going to go with their survival game. But they just weren't in love with that idea. They did it for a whole year and it just wasn't something that they really felt passionate about. So they scrapped it, completely scrapped it, and decided to work on something they really were passionate about, which is Witchfire, this really fast, frenetic combat game set in the 19th century with weapons and items that maybe not expecting as much, but can give you really fast-paced gameplay and gunplay action. You'll see in various little bits of the articles and various little clips they've shown and highlighted. So again, go and check them out. I'll leave the link for them in the description box down below. And that is pretty much it. Witchfire in a nutshell. We've got these great big ogres we're going to be fighting. We've got smaller minions. We've got these skeleton sort of demons. It looks crazy. It looks bonkers. The environments look amazing. Really pleased to see this, and I want to carry on seeing as much as I can. So expect to see a lot more of this on my channel. Every few weeks, maybe every month, I'll go and list everything that's been going on in their development pages every week, and of course the minute they actually drop a full trailer or full gameplay, I will show you guys as quickly as I can. I've got real high hopes for this one. The studio have shipped a game before, they've worked on big games in the past, so I don't think this is necessarily a case of a project that's going to be cancelled again, since they've already cancelled one. So I really do think this is going to come along, and the way they've been rapidly working in the last few months and just shows a real good promise about this. Apart from Doom, what other shooters are there at the moment that offer this type of gameplay? Maybe Rage 2 incoming very soon, but for now Witchfire is something very unique. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you have got them notifications on. Come and join my Discord and follow me on Twitter, where I really highlight and show a lot of this stuff off. I am Jade, thank you for watching, and I'll see you ratbags later.